if you guys like this video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you guys are interested in a personal session, check out my website, readingswithbreanne.com. Let's dive into the topic for today. Hello, beautiful souls. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend here. How are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling? Let me know. It's kind of interesting because I feel like I have not sat down to do a video in days and days, and I just did one yesterday. So quite interesting that it's just things are feeling really crazy, really fast. Very interesting energies happening. Whoa, look at those cards. Cards are flying everywhere here already, and we haven't even got started yet. So let me know how you guys are doing. I'm curious of some of the astrological alignments. I didn't look too deep into them, but it feels like there's some stuff going on, you guys. Now I've had multiple requests to look into food here. This has come up quite a few times over the last week or two, and I seen an article that kind of sparked my attention as well, and it was here. It came up, the UK government dropped a health push after lobbying by processed food firms. So there's definitely some stuff going on globally, but there's some things definitely happening in the UK here. Some other articles that looks like were just posted in the last day here. A day or two was also trouble bubbling in the UK for food production. Another article talking about how ultra-processed foods may be linked to an early death. No. Oh my goodness. I had no idea putting all these chemicals and additives into our body was, contributing to a greater risk of diseases. And oh my goodness, you guys. So let's dive into it. I feel like we could approach this from a couple different angles. I wanted to look at if there's any potential. Again, you guys, just an energy report. Please use your discernment. Check and tune in with your heart, your intuition. But I do want to see, are there any things to be concerned or worried about when it comes to food shortages, especially we're going to look at the UK. So we're going to see, is there going to be an end in this? Because I read this one article here. Again, it looks like it says here, the government legal guidance was urging retailers in England to offer millions of consumers deals and discounts on minimally processed and nutritious food, which was dropped after a lobbying campaign by the world's biggest ultra-processed food firms. Okay, so we've got, corporations such as Nestle, such as Coca-Cola, who were pretty much demanding to have this ditched, you guys. So big wake-up call. I mean, I'm sure we all know that these processed foods are not good for us, but it would really be nice to see a lot of healthier options, and even looking at maybe restaurants or little mom and pop shops that really pop up to serve real more nutritious food instead of going to these fast food joints. So let's dive into the tarot and see and kind of dive into the energy of the momentum with food, with agriculture. I want to ask too if there's any potential, big food shortages that we need to be really concerned about. So let's dive right in. Oh, you know what, you guys? I actually seen a really interesting article as well, and this is happening in Canada, and it's in regards to these 400 ostriches that, let's say the CFIA says the BC ostrich cull will go ahead despite the regional district refusing to accept the carcasses. So the Canadian Food Inspection Agency is going to go ahead with this, and they are doing this over fears of avian flu, and it was doubled down on a decision on Saturday despite local regional districts passing a motion earlier this week saying it will not accept the birds. So there's quite a bit of articles online. There's been community rallies for these birds and a lot of people protesting about this. But I wanted to also look at the deeper hidden truths behind this, because what I did find here was I read that these ostriches were actually involved in an antibody and immune system research. And if they show the natural resistance to the avian flu, it's a big threat to pharma. So let's actually start with a tarot reading on these ostriches, and I wanted to see what's coming up, and then we'll move over to some of the UK energies with the agriculture and the food. All right, lovely souls. So I want to ask the tarot what it has to say when it comes to these ostriches. Was there any potential proof, or was there any findings when it came to some kind of a organic viral resistance here? Because again, if that was something that was studied further, and these birds could really unlock something naturally from like a naturally derived medicine, and that's something that pharma would want to suppress, right? So Spirit, what can you share with us about this whole situation with these 400 ostriches in Canada? What can you share about these ostriches? The Fool, did they find anything? Nine of Swords. Page of Pentacles. In the past, you guys, I think they found something. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Oh man, the Empress in reverse. Eight of Pentacles. Wow. And the High Priestess, which is secrets. They're holy crow, you guys. Holy. All right, lovely souls. So before we actually dive into the tarot, I wanted to do a little bit of Googling and to see if I can find anything else out about this. And I asked if there was any findings when it comes to these ostriches here. And it says, yes, there is documented evidence that the ostriches at the Universal Ostrich Farms in British Columbia were part of a significant antibody research, which again, now is at risk to a culling order. So when it comes to evidence and antibody research, it says that they were successfully able to extract high quality antibodies from ostrich eggs, which have shown potential in neutralizing various infectious diseases, including CV19 and the avian influenza as well. So these antibodies are notable for their cost effectiveness and efficiencies. One ostrich egg can yield antibodies equivalent to those found in 100 chicken eggs or the blood of 800 rabbits, making them a valuable resource for medical research and potential treatments here. So there's quite a bit of information. I mean, but that's quite incredible, you guys. So when we can relate that into what's going on here with what we've pulled, it really does line up, because here we have the Page of Pentacles in that past showing, yes, they have found actual evidence and findings saying that this is something that can really assist with a numerous amount of different diseases and medications here. Now, this tarot spread is actually really, really sad, and I really feel bad for all these ostriches as well, because look at this, like looking at this tarot spread with the energy of them, the ostriches are coming out as the Fool, you guys. The Fool is all about a new frontier and how viable they can really be for medicine and a lot of really positive things moving forward. This is that this potential and really understanding a new frontier of medicine from what I can see. But bam, look at that. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This is showing a suppression. So it's being taken away and it's being suppressed and cut off as much as possible here. Nine of Swords, again, in the situation of this is, a heavy energy, because these ostriches are going to lose their life, but also I feel like this is a fear that they put out about certain like viruses and flus, and also this could be linked to bigger plans with food shortages as well. Now, again, I mentioned in the past with the Page of Pentacles, this is showing research, this is showing evidence, and I do think that they have something that could really promise that something very very big, that has a lot of potential here with these energies. The Fool, major arcana. But what's really sad is the Empress is in reverse with the outcome, and this is a destruction of a destruction of fertility, a destruction of, I guess I should say, destruction of life in general. But also, I get, when we look at the Empress is all about the Divine Mother, right? The resources that the Divine Mother really gives us. And it's sad because this is showing me a lot of earth-based resources, and they're being removed here. So Eight of Pentacles, and we have the High Priestess here. And to me, this is showing again suppressed knowledge. They're working hard to destruct this innocence, this energy, because it can be very viable, very positive for the people and for the collective. So I have an Ace of Swords, which is a confirmation. So I love getting confirmations, but it's a sad energy. I have to say, it's really heartwarming though to see how many people are actually standing up for this in the protests as well, because this is really being caught in a system that values control over creation. That's exactly what it says. And I think the more people that come together and bring awareness to this and really stand up will make a difference and will get voices heard. So really sad energy to, see what's happening here behind the scenes. And what is interesting too with that Knight of Pentacles in reverse, this is actually a card that represents animal abuse as well. So let's see if we can ask the question then, if there is a consistent suppression and big pharma trying to, run the show here, is that going to change anytime soon? Let's pull the cards on big pharma and see, are they going down? Will there be a big overhaul with let's say the food industry and medication here? What can you share specifically about big pharma, Spirit? Eight of Swords, Knight of Cups, King of Pentacles. Ooh, we got the Fool, Eight of Pentacles, Four of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles. Now again, all alleged, you guys, just a story that I'm sharing over here. But when we look at the Eight of Swords in the energy of, the pharmaceutical companies, I do see them as losing their grip. A lot of things are coming out. This is an exposure. This is a new energy with the present here. And it feels like this is the constraints, the mass awakening, the crumbling of control, right? But the Fool sometimes is being reckless as well. So it wouldn't surprise me the more that these big pharmaceutical companies start to lose their grip. They're losing their grip with this energy right now. They may try to push more scary things, you guys, in the months ahead, so pay attention. Look at the whole ostrich thing. And you know what, you guys, that took me 2 or 3 minutes to really just Google and see what's actually happening. It's right in our face too. It tells you right there, hey, they have actual evidence to show how beneficial the ostrich and the eggs really are. But guess what? It's being suppressed. So you're not going to see that on probably MSN or in the news, but you can easily find, information about hidden truths if you dig a little bit. So very important. If you guys are passionate about that, I'm sure you guys already do that. But there are things you can find online than just, going off the media and the internet, you guys. Or I guess I can say the media outlets, because they just are going to push a certain narrative. So anyway, back to this energy looking at, big pharma. Here they are losing their grip. They have that past King of Pentacles. This is a suppression. This is all about money, greed, control, right? they can't make money off you if you're healthy, right? So they have to create disease and create all these synthetic products. Look at the food, right? There's a sense of scarcity here, right? But again, the Fool represents, it's like humanity is at a threshold. There's that Two of Pentacles. It is in between. It's at a threshold from breaking free here, which is really positive. And again, you're going to see more and more people starting to question, starting to stand up. This is them really looking to seek sovereign health. But in that process, this is also big pharma losing their grip and then them doing reckless things. So just pay attention to that. And there's something about like rebranding here, okay? Because the Knight of Cups is in the situation of big pharma and how they're trying to portray. I mean, this is this gentle knight that really shows an emotional, appealing, like just looking at this card, it's this branding, right? Look at that knight there, kind of dressed all flashy. And it feels like this is certain maybe PR campaigns and marketing to really mask their true agendas, okay? I will say I love that we have the Eight of Pentacles in the outcome, because this is, to me, showing that the future is about rebuilding from the ground up. It's about knowing that this is a corrupt system that is being taken down and it's going to be completely rebranded. This is my coming out of the, not out of the cold, but it's kind of like coming out of the slumber. So again, people that are sleeping, I wouldn't be surprised if there's more people, more whistleblowers coming out about the food industry, about big pharma, pharmaceutical companies really coming out, and it's in your face, you guys. It really is. So this is really showing humanity is going to learn how to heal. Maybe this is studying plants. This is working with the earth medicine. Remember, we had the Empress energy there, but it was in reverse regarding the ostriches. But when we're looking at the Empress, that's a representation of Mother Earth, the divine. And again, so we have the Eight of Pentacles as the outcome, and what's aspecting that is the Two of Pentacles and the Four of Swords in reverse. I love that this one is in reverse, because this is showing people are no longer asleep, and it's like the damage has been done. There's been so much damage that has been done over the years and years, and this is the public weighing, like emerging from that old structure into new alternatives from what I can see. So really, really positive, you guys. So let's dive into the UK and see what's going on there with. All right, lovely souls. So let's dive into our next question. We probably do not need cards for this, but I'm going to just ask because I'm curious to see what comes up in the tarot. Are they actually poisoning our food? Again, this is alleged. Maybe we're just crazy conspiracy theorists. But let's see, Spirit, what can you share? Are they actually deliberately and intentionally poisoning the food? Let's see what the cards have to say. Five of Swords, King of Cups, Emperor reversed, Ten of Cups reversed, the Sun, we got the Devil, and the Seven of Swords with the Hanged Man. So I have to say, Five of Swords with these companies and their intentions here, this is, you guys, yes, manipulation. This is winning at all costs here. This is companies not just cutting corners, they are knowingly engaging in practices that harm the public. That's what that card says. All right. And it feels like there could be some hidden conflicts and definitely dishonest labeling. So it actually makes me question whether or not the labels are even true, right? So we have Ten of Cups in reverse, which again is the idea of like the wholesome food culture being completely flipped upside down, okay? because 10 of Cups together would be a happy family. This would be communities coming together. This could be working together with agriculture, with crops, with like community-based farmers markets, and this is being completely flipped upside down. So it feels like this is a broken illusion, and it's being presented as safe. It's being presented as nourishing, but the truth is it's hollow. It's hollow, it's empty, it's toxic. The King of Cups in that situation is all about an emotional manipulation to the public. But you guys, look at this outcome, okay? Because originally I'm like, I feel like we probably don't need to pull on this question, but I still wanted to see what was going to come out. And look at this. This is exposures coming out pretty darn quick here. So I'm going to ask if we can see some more exposures in the next couple months, because this is the truth coming to light. And the fact that we have the Devil and the Seven of Swords, but both in reverse, to me, this is showing that these are hidden agendas. This is manipulation. This is lies. These are hidden agendas by these elites and systems that plan to win at all cost here. Again, they don't make money if you're thriving, if you're healthy, right? But this is coming out, you guys. This is actually super exciting. So I could see this as all of this is going to start to unravel more and more, and there will be, I feel like, of course, whistleblowers, but independent researchers that are going to really awaken consumers with this energy. So can we expect, let's ask the tarot, can we expect more exposures coming out when it comes to the food, especially with UK right now and things happening in the UK? Can we expect more of these things to be in our face and exposed in the few months ahead here? There's that Seven of Cups, which is a smoke screen and mirrors, keeping us trapped. Let's get one more. Is this coming out in the next couple of months, Spirit? Will there be, okay. We do have some things coming out, but you know what, you guys, we also have the Hangman over here, which is a little bit of a delay, but it's a pause. It's really having to come together with a new perspective as well. So Page of Cups reversed here. This could be like the early waves, the beginning of some truths that are going to come out, but I feel like they might be ignored at first. So again, for those of you that know, you guys have your eyes open, but there's still a lot of people here with that Eight of Swords. It's like many are still mentally trapped, and I feel like they're afraid to face the truth here. So this could be illusions internally as well, because this is smokescreen, this is mirrors. Like I said, you guys that know already know. I'm sure they have some pretty, I have to be cautious a little bit with what I say, but when you look at certain claims with some of these fast food joints and what's in their hamburgers, right? If you said that to another person of what we think is in there, they would think we're absolutely crazy, right? So it still feels like that extent of some people are still not fully opening up their eyes to see what's happening. But we have the Chariot, so momentum does pick up, and does kind of momentum moves forward when it comes to this. This is a victory card, and this is also working with the Light Alliance energy as well. So I could say I do think that we're going to see more exposures over the next couple months, but I think they still may be a little bit suppressed, or people will just kind of dismiss them as, because they don't want to see the truth, right? So interesting. But let's dive into, I wanted to ask what the energy is about a potential, like, are there going to be any food shortages in the UK in the weeks to come? Let's see what the tarot has to say. All right, lovely. So let's see what the cards have to say. Again, you guys, on a side note, if you guys are interested in a personal session, you can find those on my website, readingswithbreanne.com. Please know I will never reach out to you guys. So just keep that in mind. I think there's been a few scams going on recently. So with that being said, what can you share, Spirit, with the energy of any potential food shortages happening? We're going to look specifically in the UK. Can you share, Spirit, any potential food shortages happening in the UK over the next couple months? What can you share, Spirit? Seven of Wands. Getting some of the similar cards here today. Nine of Pentacles. All right, so now I think somebody also mentioned in one of my comments that it has been extremely dry in the UK, and a lot of people are farmers are praying for rain at this point because their crops are, you know, there's a significant amount of struggling here. So I have to say, I do think that there could be definitely some shortages, but at the same time, like if we kind of dissect this a little bit, here's this Eight of Swords in reverse as well. Again, this is, you know, these companies that are losing their power, right? They're losing their grip on things. Now, I do see, when I see this Three of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles, to me, this is the UK really relying a lot on a huge percentage of foods that are imported, and I do think that is going to cause some pretty big hiccups here. I have to say, I do not see anything catastrophic here, okay? The Devil is also in reverse, which is really positive with this energy. I mean, Seven of Wands in the energy of the people in the UK does show a bit of a preparedness, okay? So I see for the most part, a lot of the UK people feeling a lot of pressure with this energy, and maybe like a sense of needing to defend and kind of protect their food and their resources here, okay? But it doesn't seem like anything is catastrophic. But again, when we look at that Devil in reverse, this is showing that this system, look at that, it is losing, okay? People are breaking free from dependency on processed foods, on centralized control. So this is actually a really, really positive reading, even if it may get a little tough in the next couple months, you guys, because Six of Cups in the situation to me does show I'm getting like a loss of familiar comforts, right? So this could be you guys, you know, finding that those foods that you always counted on, there may be a shortage in that supply, okay? And I feel like a lot of this is tied to some of the imports and the high prices of the cost of these items. But again, even if these things do occur, you guys, look at the outcome, the sun. The sun is extremely positive here, and it's showing what's aspecting it too is like people are going to find solutions. They're going to adapt. They're going to emerge. And sometimes we need these things to happen in order for us to build a new foundation here. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard me say that time and time again. But overall, this is feel like people are going to start to look beyond their borders, and there's going to be a vision, there's going to be planning, there's going to be people coming together and preparing, and it is leading into self-sufficiency. This is a sovereign energy as well, you guys. So overall, yes, it may be a little bit uncomfortable with some of the energy here, but it's nothing catastrophic from what I can see. And if anything, it's actually really, really positive because it's going to bring more self-sustainability to the local communities here. So that's really nice to see. So let's see. With that sun in the outcome, it brings me back to the farmers and how dry their crops have been. So I wanted to just ask a few, let's pull a few cards and ask the question, how affected will the farmers be in the UK in these summer months? How affected will the farmers and the crops be in the months ahead in the UK? King of Swords. Nine of Swords. There's that Knight of Pentacles in reverse again. Oh, the Star in reverse. The Lovers in reverse. All right. Well, it does look a little difficult too. I have to say this isn't exactly the cards I was hoping to see, to be honest, when we're looking at the farmers in the UK. So with that star energy right in the middle, you guys, I keep getting that there's going to be like big anomalies when it comes to weather patterns as well. I think a lot of farmers are going to hit hard here. And I actually think some of them may even try to get like they may be like pushed out here. Um I don't like that we have Justice in reverse. We have Knight of Pentacles in reverse, showing the past. I feel like farmers are in like warrior mode here, and it's gonna be tough because I feel like when I see this is almost like I wonder if some farmers are even offered buyouts or pressured into certain maybe green agricultural schemes. And this is going to be more about controlled based tech farming as well. So this is a big test here for almost like unity here. It's like testing the sense of unity. The lovers in reverse as the outcome, though, could also represent dissolving certain partnerships with governments, because I feel like they do not have your best heart at intentions, you guys. There's something about them trying to maybe even silence and force out farmers here with maybe some payouts or buyouts in exchange for replacing something digital, something tech here. And I don't like that energy at all. And actually, you know what, you guys, there was that article about, I think, Keir Starmer. Okay, so there's an article here again. It says the UK and EU edge towards a reset on e-gates, food, and defiance. And when I see this, let's pull a couple cards on that, because I want to see, Spirit, what can you share about this this storyline with Keir Starmer? He arrives at the 6th European Political Community Summit, and that was just back on May 16th, so a couple days ago. What can you share about this? Because again, reset, you guys. Look at that tower moment, walking away. There's that justice. 5 of Cups on the back. It's almost like when we see this as well and we dissect it, because reset is almost that it's a signaling an alignment with global structures and agendas here, you guys. So that all comes into the star. The star is also about technology, and this is pointing at surveillance, the biometric surveillance. This could be tighter controls when we're looking at individuals here. Centralized travel, scoring systems, all of that. That's their big plan to push and move forward. And you know what I see? It's almost like when you look at the food reset, because he talks about a reset on e-gates, food, and defense. And when we look at the reset on food, this is submerging. Look at, we have that tower moment here, submerging certain frameworks. Queen of Pentacles, they're trying to lay structures when it comes to an increased pressure on farmers, and working with like lab grown, climate certified, traceable food systems. All of that kind of stuff is coming out here. So I have to say, you guys, as always, pay attention to red flags, use your discernment. And this is not about feeding the people safely here. Look at 5 of Cups, justice reversed here. I don't think that this plan, they'll get away with it with the justice as the outcome, but it is something that they're trying to push for. That's why it is something to be aware of, you guys, okay? So again, when I was looking at this, it's almost like they're more about controlling the source and the access to all foods. That's what it looks like here. So again, with that lovers in reverse, when it comes to the farmers and their crops, I mean, it's really it feels like a test here, and a question of like, will farmers keep their land or will they be bought out here? Because this is also the legal system, right? And you know, when we look at this, I do think a sovereign food system is emerging, but it's also it has to be chosen here because that mainstream path really leads to dependency, where that more conscious path, right, leads to sovereign connections here and liberation. So let's end this with a final tarot card pull and ask, over the next year here, I want to look into, you know what, actually I want to look into 2026, because I do think 2025 is still going to be a bit of a bump in a road and a hiccup here, and we are at that threshold, you guys, of moving into a whole new structure, which is a really positive and a beautiful thing, but we also have to choose that. So where will the collective be for the UK for 2026? Let's end it with that. What can you share, Spirit, with where will the collective be by 2026? What can you share when it comes to the collective and their momentum? Two of Wands, that is that portal, going through that portal, two different pathways again, you guys. It's almost the energy of, yeah, look at some people consciously choosing to move into a sovereign energy, but others, not everyone is going to choose that. Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, see, exactly. Two of Swords again. Two of Swords and Two of Wands. So this is sitting on that threshold. You know, how are you guys going to move? How are you guys going to choose to move forward? Yes, look at that, you guys. So I do see a lot of really good energy for the UK moving forward in the next year. But again, a lot of people are going to wake up and move into a sovereign energy. Going back to that Two of Wands energy, this is all about planting seeds as well, but this is my portal energy and a crossroads. So really, the collective, the people of the UK, this is representing them and crossing that threshold for, you know, the next year here. So it feels like, again, decentralized foods. This is working with community gardens. This is also local alliances, right? People are beginning to see these opportunities, but I guess the big question is, are they going to act? Many of them are, okay? We have the Eight of Cups as the past. This is them walking away from the old structures. So I do see many are. This is earth-based timeline. This earth resources, the stability is starting to anchor in here, and I love that. So this is really that sovereign archetype, the sovereign mother, the food, the herbalist, the farmers, right, the alchemist here. Again, this is nature-based abundance for people that are willing to tune in here. So I do think that there is a whole new food system that is fertile, and it just needs to be nourished. It just needs to be nourished, protected, loved. Knight of Swords over the situation is showing, again, I feel like a aggressive push for a centralized system. And this is going to, because again, you guys, they are losing their grip. Remember, we have pulled that time and time again. And this is them pushing harder and harder. Okay, so the only thing is, on the other side of the coin, you still have people that are waking up here. So yes, they're going to keep pushing and acting fast, trying to seize the narrative and the infrastructure, but most people are not going to have it, from what I can see. So looking forward again at the outcome with the two of Swords. This is really people sitting on the fence, right? Are they going to take back that sovereign energy, or are they going to, you know, lead themselves down that road of codependency and fears and rely on these artificial structures? I do think the King of Wands could represent to a lot of leaders that are very much heart-based, very much inspired to lead certain movements. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's more and more people in the communities that are going to really stand up and fight here. Again, the UK itself, Two of Wands, is all about sitting. It's on a split path, and that's happening globally, right? This is not just a UK situation, but this is something where some are going to rise. Some will rise to an earth-based, decentralized nourishment, and some are going to get looped in that fear and addiction and synthetic convenience here. So that's something that has come out on, more than on one occasion. Unfortunately, I know we want to bring everyone, probably all our friends, all our family, but we are all on our individual paths. So it's really important for us to, stay true to ourselves and our hearts and really, really question where things are going internally, okay? So let's take a final oracle and see what messages are coming out. Any final messages for the people that are tuning in today? Well, what can we share? Any final messages, Spirit? All right, so this is the divine, magnetic, valuable, the servant queen. So you are worthy of beautiful things coming out there. So that is a beautiful energy. And I have to say, for all of you guys that are tuning in, you guys, your work is not going unnoticed. You guys are amazing here. All right. So I feel like this arrives as a confirmation that your work, your awareness, your role in awakening here is really being noticed by the universe. So I love all you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today for another tarot reading. And I'm excited to be back for another one soon. I'm going to be doing a crystal ball reading for you guys soon, so stay tuned. Lots of love, and until next time, bye for now, guys.